So, guys, this girl is really having a hard time in school just to keep up her grade. She literally unalived someone over it. Now, her name is Sydney. Sydney is in high school. She's a very good student. She gets good grades and she's high achiever. She is also a mentor to a lot of young students in the school. Yes, she is really killing it. So it's no surprise when she graduated from high school and gets academic scholarship to nearby university, about an hour distance from where her family house is. But then in the fall, she packed her things to the university dorm and started going to classes. But immediately she discovers that university is much harder than the high school. The workload is more, the expectations are much higher, and poor Sydney is really finding it difficult to keep it up. And she is not used to this. Failure in school is not her thing. So sometimes she'll go back to her family house and visit her parents. And her parents, who we will call her mom, and her dad. So her mom will be like, "Hey girl, how are you doing in school?" And Sydney said, "I'm doing great, mom." She lies, and this keeps on going on for about a month. She is struggling in school and she keeps on lying to her parents about it. And at the end of her first semester year, things actually haven't improved. In fact, at this point, she is doing so terrible. She is doing so terrible to the extent that she is failing some of her classes, which actually puts her scholarship at risk. But still, she bubbles it up and goes home for the summer and doesn't tell her parents that anything is wrong. But then, it gets worse. Another semester starts and it is sophomore year. Sydney goes back to her college and goes back to her dorm. At this point, the school has put her on academic probation, but soon enough, she is falling behind her classes again and she can't keep up. Yes, and of course, whenever her parents calls and asks of how is school going, she continues to keep it from them. Yes, she is too afraid to admit the fact that she is really struggling and she doesn't want to disappoint her parents. Pretty quickly, the semester ends and kaboom! Sydney has failed 3 out of the 4 classes she took that semester. And that's when the school officially sent her a notice that her movement has been suspended and she has also lost her scholarship. And Sydney, she doesn't know what to do because she has never disappointed her parents before. So she goes home for the holidays and still refuses to tell them anything. She keeps pretending that as if nothing is wrong, like school is going on great. In fact, she doesn't tell anyone about her suspension. Not her parents, not her best friends, no one. And she just keeps these lies going. And in a month later, when school is back in session, she just goes back. Even though she has been suspended and no longer enrolled, but she returns to her dorm and acts as if she's still a student and just keeps on living there. And she attends surrounding meetings, she attends classes sometimes as if nothing ever happened. But eventually, the school admins finds out she is doing this, like they just kick her out. So they evict her and deactivated her key card. So poor Sydney, she doesn't know what to do. She doesn't want to move back home because her parents will notice that she has failed in college and they will be disappointed in her. So instead of going back home, she just keeps the lies going. So she just rents out a room in a nearby hotel and starts staying there. All the while, her parents has no idea all this is going on. Until one day, Sydney's dad is at work and he decided to log in into the university portal so that he can take care of Sydney's situation. But unfortunately, it says you can't log in. So he decided to be on phone call with the school admin, and the school admin drops a bomb on him. She says, "Sir, you can't log in because Sydney is no longer enrolled." And Dad is straight up shocked And he says, "Oh, how can our honored student be suspended from school?" Now, the whole family uses one of the 360 e-sharing location app. So he looks at it and he sees that Sydney is at home, the family house. So he decided to go and confront her to figure out what is going on. So he does drive home and confront her. And Sydney, instead of her to tell her father that she is struggling and having trouble in school, she just continued to tell lies. She said, "Dad, everything is fine and I'm still taking classes in school," which isn't true. So they talk a while a bit and Dad seems to be understanding, but he has to go back to work, so he leaves. Then Sydney's mom comes home, and this is where things get crazy. Sydney's mom had also left work early just to come home and talk to Sydney. But immediately when she got home, she called the school admin and asked of the details about her daughter's suspension. But they are unavailable and the school tells her they will call her back. Then mom confronted Sydney. She wants to know what the hell is going on. Why did she get suspended? And it gets into an argument. Pretty quickly, it gets heated and escalates, and they started yelling at each other. So, in the middle of all that, suddenly the phone rings, and it is the university returning the mom's call. So the moms get on the phone and started chatting with the school admin. And then, out of nowhere, bang! Sydney hit her mom over the head with a frying pan. And mom screams, and Sydney hit her again and again until mom goes down. And this whole time, the college admins are still on the phone and they can hear all this violence going on at the background. But then, click, the phone goes dead. And while her mom is down on the floor, Sydney is not yet done. She grabbed the knife and stabbed her mom over and over and over 24 times. And she eventually unalived her mom. And while this is happening, the school admins are still trying to call back to make sure that everything is okay. But on the third try, finally, someone picks up. And it is Sydney, but she is trying to pretend to be her mom. Like, "Yes, this is Sydney's mom." And the admins don't buy it. And they're like, "Nah, this sounds like Sydney." So Sydney immediately hung up the call. And the admins were like, "What the fuck was all that?" So they called police and asked them to go there and do a welfare check. So the police head over to Sydney's house. Meanwhile, at home, Sydney is standing over her mom, who she just unalived. She has no idea what to do, so she has to panic. She has to cover this up, so she quickly comes up with an idea. First, she breaks a nearby window in the house, and then she started preparing a story that she will tell the police about some random burglar broke into their house and unalived her mom. And within a short minute, police arrived, and this body camera shows that they are ushering her out of the house, and she is trying to tell them this bullshit.
And she told me to get out, and then I heard screaming, so I came back, and she was on the ground.
But unfortunately for her, police sees the wounds on her hand, indicating that she is rather the one who broke the windows in the house. So then, bam, they arrest her, and here is the mugshot. So she was charged with murder, she goes to trials, she found guilty, and she was sent to 15 years to life, all over some bad grades. Shout out to Ohio, and a big shout out to Mr. Ray Williams.